Hello, hello, hello. I'm Ellie Merriam and I'm the Closet Quilter. Welcome to the closet. Good morning. It is a chilly morning here in South Florida. I think it's like 40 degrees. It's freezing. Hence the sweater. Like, my heater's like, no, I don't know what to do. Floridian heaters, what are you going to do, right? So I am just working on finishing up my brother's quilt. This is a cheater quilt panel. I think I've told you that before. It's just a lot of repetition, a lot of arcs, a lot of picking out. My manual lines, I'll do that later maybe. Let's move on. Lots and lots of arcs. I'm using my 4-in-1 mini, and for the larger arcs, I have a Quilter's Groove Pro Line 8, which is really helpful. This does the whole arc. There's many arcs here, so this is really helpful. I'm thinking about getting a bigger arc. I can see now the value of those large arcs that they sell for long armors. So I'm considering that, but they're quite expensive, so I'm gonna have to budget that in. But yeah, that's my next purchase sometime this year. But I have spent a lot of money getting my setup, and I just like to show you my setup. For those of you new to the Cutie quilting frame, or new to mid-arm quilting, or just curious, okay, I have a husky table, a adjustable height husky table. It holds my Cutie frame perfectly, and my mid-arm. I have a Q15 Pro. And before this, I had a PQ1500S, which was the predecessor to the PQ1500SL by Brother. That is what they call a domestic mid-arm. It had, at the end of the day, I had 5 inches vertical space with which to work, and that was fine. On the Cutie frame, I could work with that, definitely. I designed my blocks accordingly so that I could do a block with no problem. I did 5.5-inch blocks sewn, which ended up 5 inches, so I didn't really have a problem. The problem that I had were arcs, because you need a little bit more wiggle room. I had to work with that. I couldn't do like really big feather motifs easily. So my husband, I was in the middle of quilting the Lori Holt chicken salad quilt, and my borders I was going to do cross hatching on. I did cross hatching on them, and it was taking forever, which is okay, you know, slow and steady wins the race. But he was getting impatient, so he said, look, I'm just going to go get the mid-arm and you can finish it up. It was like, okay. What was I gonna say, right? It's like, you want to get a mid-arm? Get a mid-arm, sure, no problem. So I love this. 15 inches is way over the top, more than I need, which is awesome. I'm not a professional quilter. I do this for family and friends and for me. I have tried a lot of different techniques. Previously I liked to watch long armors on their ratchet machine frames, you know. So I tried to apply what I learned watching those to the Cutie hoop frame, and it has served me pretty well. I've learned a lot of techniques, and it just helps me, all the little techniques of machine quilting. I mean, machine quilting is machine quilting, right? So no matter what kind of machine you're using or running, however they say it, you can benefit from learning those techniques. It's just maybe applying it to a smaller scale. I don't know. But anyway, I'm shifting now, so I have to shift that way. So I'm just going to unhook these. A lot of my videos for beginning cutie quilters show shifting, putting things up, shifting vertically, horizontally. That's really the first thing you need to learn to manage. Fabric management. There are some tools for that. I use side clips. They're called bungees. They sell them. You can get them on Amazon probably too. There's lots of different things. I don't think that the snappers, the red snappers, work with the hoop frame. I think those are very specific for ratchet system. So I don't know if they would work with the new cutie frames, the Evolution. I don't know. That's a question that probably you're asking yourself, because they have a new ratchet system, it's like a hoop frame that has a ratchet. It's called the Evolution. Very interesting concept. But I don't know the answer to that. If you're asking that question, let me know the answer. That would be great. I'd love to know. So right now, I am going to, on this particular panel, my backing didn't go as far as the end, so I have about a good, maybe 3 inches where it's not covered. So I have marked it where the backing ends, so that I can stitch that line, stitch it down. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I am getting ready to clip, and I have to get where are my side clips? Okay, got most of the, you could hear the washing machine over here spinning. I'm washing fabric for my next quilt. I'm making myself one. I have several vintage tablecloth samples that my father-in-law, blessed memory, had. He was a thread sales executive in New York, and he had many of these tablecloths as samples. And my husband brought them when we got out of our apartment in New York. He brought those home, and I was like, oh wow, I can make quilts from these. But here's the deal, they're linen. And linen has some very specific issues to work with. One of which I found out was really cool is, in order to cut it straight, what you do is, if you look at linen, it's woven. You can see very clearly the direction of the threads. Well, turns out, if you measure where you want to cut, where you would normally cut the fabric, you don't cut linen, you start to cut it, and you pull a thread. You pull out one of the threads going vertically in the direction and the place where you want to cut. You pull that out, it makes a little track, right? When you pull that thread out, that's where you cut. That's how you cut a straight line on linen. It's really cool. It's called the pull method. And it's the pull thread method or something like that. I forget what they call it, but it's something like pull method for cutting linen. Really, really interesting. It works. I did it. I made borders. It turned out perfectly. So that was really fun. What else have I been up to? Just recently, what am I working on? Working with different fabrics. And this next one is a linen tablecloth. It's blue and white. I did wash the vintage linen tablecloth because it was a certain shade of, it was yellowed, you know, it was a vintage tablecloth, and it was, had yellowed. I mean, these were samples, so they were not used, but over time, age, they yellow. So I washed it in, there is this product that is used for vintage linens, and it's called Retro Clean. And I used that and washed it, and it whitened up really nicely so that I could match it very close to new linen fabric at Joann's. So I was able to do that, and I could make the borders with that. So it looks actually decent. You'll see. That'll be the next project I work on, but you'll see how closely they match. It's pretty good. And I think once it's quilted up, it'll be fine. Because quilting covers a multitude of problems, I found. If something's not perfect, you know, you have to consider, you know, will the quilting fix that problem? You know, a lot of times it does. So, not to worry. Got to find the straps for this. I am in a closet, so there's limited space. You know, I'm not just the closet quilter I'm not called the closet quilter for no reason. Some people have some different ideas about why I'm called the quilter, but that's irrelevant. I am very happily married, so, to my husband, so nothing having to do with that. I am in the closet because I choose to be. I really adore this space. It's just the right amount. I'm not distracted. There's no windows. There's nothing to distract me here. I just go about my day. Okay, there is another strap here somewhere. There it is. Aha! I got it. All right. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna clip this down. There. All right. Now, like I said, I am gonna move this over so you can see. Okay. As you can see, I'm on the edge here. Okay. Now, I didn't side clip it, but I can tell I've got the edge. Let's try to see where it is. Right there. Okay. Right there. So I'm just gonna turn this on. There. Okay. And this, I guess I can, there. Pulling that. I think I have everything out of the way. Now I've got a line here that's going down, so I'll just stitch that. Okay. This feels really tight. Maybe it's me. Oh, there, it's fine. All right. Now I've got this. Okay. Okay. That seems to do the trick. Now, when I stop, when I break thread, I stop, I put my needle up, I take it out to bring the bobbin out, and then bring it up, and there's the bobbin, and I can cut it, and that will keep the bobbin from following me, and I won't have little threads all along the back. That's how I break thread. So let's see here. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is so I can continuously do this. And what I'm going to use is my Proline 8, because this arc is big enough for these arcs that I've got going on here. Okay, there we go. I have little hooks on here to keep my snippers. That's helpful. I have a needle down position so it doesn't move when I stop. There's all kinds of arcs on this, so it's just, you know, I can kind of rotate. This bigger arc. I don't know what that noise is about. Sometimes I get a little nervous of these noises. Sounds like the bobbin is almost out, but it's not. You know, when you sew on the seams, it looks like you actually pieced this, which would have been like, you know, something that took 5 years for me. These double wedding ring quilts are just really a lot of time-consuming pieces. Even with, I have a, what is that called? The AccuQuilt system. Even with that, it's still very time-consuming. It's a great tool, but it's still time-consuming nonetheless. Okay, I'm going to break thread. Okay. Okay. It just looks amazing. I really, really love it. Okay, I'm gonna need a big arc. See, this is where those big arcs can be helpful, but I would have to pull this out all the way to have the room to use those big arcs. So right now, this is really good. Okay. Oh, no, this is another arc. Okay. Okay. Now to this arc. Yeah. This is very relaxing. Something just, this thread looks like it's coming unwound. Hold on. It looks like it's coming apart. I'm using, maybe my needle is dull. I don't know. I don't know why it looks like this. I don't know why my thread looks like it's disintegrating. Yeah, shredding. Maybe my needle is dull. Might be time to change the needle. Okay, there you go.